I'm Gabriel.
And I'm Aaliyah.
And welcome back to The Cutting Edge. Earlier this month, Mount Edgecombe High School celebrated Founders Week.
The week began with a tribute to Mr. Mount Edgecombe himself. In celebration of Dr. Gil Truitt's hard work towards Mount Edgecombe High School, a new holiday was born on February 11th, intended to honor his many years of dedication. So let's go take a look at how we celebrated.
Mr. Gurley started off the assembly sharing some MEHS history with the Braves.
Dr. Gil Truitt is a member of the first graduating Mount Edgecombe class in 1948, the very first, to benefit young ladies and young gentlemen from every corner of our great state of Alaska. Gil Truitt was a teacher, a coach, a school administrator, both in the dormitory and in the academic areas. He has seen it all. His email address is originalbrave48, and this day will always serve as a reminder of his love and influence for the past and future generations.
Good afternoon. So Founders Week is a time to honor our past and our future. So many of your parents and grandparents were students here at Mount Edgecombe. Maybe even some of them had Mr. Truitt as a teacher or as up in the dorms. So it is quite an honor to recognize today and in the future this first day of Founders Week as Dr. Gil Truitt Day.
Here's a tribute to Dr. Truitt assembled by Mr. Mahoney and the National Honor Society. MEHS students answered the question, what does it mean to be a Brave?
You are a part of the legacy of this wonderful school. All of this is possible because of the work that Dr. Truitt has done to keep this school alive.
Mount Edgecombe students were given the chance to exchange words with Dr. Truitt. While he's connecting with the current generation of Braves, you could already see his connection with the next generation. Would you look at that? A new tradition is born.
Thank you, Dr. Truitt.
Next up, we have the return of the First Light artists.
Let's explore.
Throughout Founders Week, the First Light artists connected with MEHS students on a variety of traditional native art projects.
I'm Gabriel Klushkan from Yakutat, and I'm here with Anna Hoover of First Light Alaska. Welcome. Can you tell us a little about yourself?
Thank you. Glad to be here. You know, I live in Bristol Bay. I live in Naknek, and I've fished Igigik all my life, and I'm a filmmaker, and my grandmother's from Unga, near Sandpoint, so I have Unanga heritage.
Can you tell us a little bit about First Light Alaska?
You bet. First Light Alaska started in 2013. We just saw opportunity to partner funding opportunities with rural communities and to bring in more instructing native artists.
In addition to teaching students how to make drums and dance fans, John Pingaik also made time to visit Mr. Fitz's Alaska history class.
And that's where I'm from. And we're the Kishunamet tribe. We're Chupik, the only place Chupik here and Makoyak, right here. We're both related and same descendants. But all the rest of them are Yupik. I was doing my homework. And part of my homework is to write about how did your ancestors taught education to the young people. And I had to put all of those together. You know what my grandfather have taught me? I had to put it in perspective where it was written down. Just like this homework right here. That's what I was doing, putting it into perspective.
Hi, I'm Kaylee Paul, and I'm with Elaine Kingikuk. Welcome to Mount Dutchcombe. Can you tell me more about yourself?
Hi, my Eskimo name is Ruchtinga. It's a Chukchi name, and in my language it's Utachtikak, and in English it's came back. So unfortunately, when I do that, I always say I came back to do this. And thanks for asking me. I taught 23 years in my school, and I'm a doll maker. I do parkas, hats, mittens, clothing. Right now what I do mainly is gut. I repaired gut parkas from different museums, and I do basketry, and that my mother taught me how to make gut baskets so I could learn more how to sew parkas, doll parkas.
What's your favorite thing about teaching?
Language, because I don't want my village to lose the language. It was my first language. I lived in, like I said, I taught 23 years in my language, and now after 11 years, 12 years later, everybody's language is broken, English as first language or whatever. And I have to before I moved, I was translating from Yupik to English. Now it's the opposite. And our ancestors didn't want us to lose the language.
Brianna, to coming to Mount Dutchcombe. I'm with Patricia Likanoff Gregory. Welcome to Mount Dutchcombe.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Kaylee.
Can you introduce more about yourself?
Yes, I can. I'm, as Kaylee said, Patricia Likanoff Gregory. I'm an Aleut from the Aleutian Islands, and I was taught how to make the Aleut bentwood hats, or the visors that they would wear in the kayaks, the men would wear typically.
Can you tell us a little more about how you learned this art form?
Yes, I'd be honored to, Kaylee. I learned this art form from a gentleman by the name of Andrew Grunhold. He was from Unga, same place, Unga, Sandpoint area, where Anna Hoover was from. And Anna Hoover is who brought me here. And basically, like I mentioned earlier, this was a man's art. And why am I doing it as a lady? It's a new generation. So.
What's your favorite part about teaching and working with students?
That is an excellent question. I think the students are a sponge, so they like to learn. They learn as, they're fast in what they're learning. They're eager. They want to learn. And for me to pass on the Aleut culture of making these hats for the boys and girls nowadays to wear out in the kayak, I'm really happy and honored to be passing this on. And I am really enjoying coming here to Sitka. I haven't been here for a few years, so thanks for having me.
Brianna, for coming to Mount Dutchcombe.
You're welcome. East Lily in the Aleut language, and Kagasakung in our language as well. Thanks for having me.
Amazing. So many cool opportunities here at Mount Edgecombe High School.
Then everyone came together.
Sounds like the annual gathering of cultures.
Let's go join the party. On Wednesday, the 13th of February, all of our diverse cultures got together and we sang and danced. Let's take a look. Even the young ones were connecting with their cultural roots. The crowd was wowed to see that type of live action. When it comes to our family, Everyone gets involved. It's beautiful to see two different cultures coming together and sharing songs.
Ready? A one, a two, a one, two, three. I kid. Get your harpoon, bring it up.
We love our traditional dancing. What a splendid night. That was one for the books.
Then came the keynote. Let's listen in.
We have two very special guests who will give a keynote address. Our first is Zoe McCooley of Merritt.
So I want to talk about how Mount Edgecombe set me up to be successful and do all these things that I did outside of Mount Edgecombe. So my first story is about English 2 and how I decided I wanted to apply to Stanford. So Miss McCawson, she's a former teacher here. She had us write 3 letters. One letter to a safety school, one letter to a school you can afford, and one letter to a dream school. And then I decided on Stanford because in that big book of colleges, I saw it and I was like, wow, they have a great science program. It's not too far away from home. And a few weeks later, I got a response back from the Stanford admissions people saying, oh, thank you for showing interest and we look forward to seeing your application in a few years. I want to mention that it's never too late to start working towards success. So I know some of you think like, oh, I'll never get my GPA that high. Or, oh, I got in trouble too many times. But I promise you, people notice if you change from a C student to an A student, or if you never make the same mistake twice. So behind every successful person, there is a story of failure.
Our next speaker is Vivian Johnson Porteous.
There are thousands and thousands of Mount Edgecombe High School alumni, and I feel very honored and humbled to be here today. So my parents sent me to Mount Edgecombe High School entering my sophomore year. The BIA at the time made a policy decision to start closing down schools in Alaska. Mount Edgecombe students and alumni started a campaign to keep the school open. In looking back, this is where I believe that the stories of each student really mattered. As an underclassman, we wrote letters to everyone in the state and federal government and native corporations. There was an assembly called first thing in the morning. There was an announcement that the school would remain open for another year. The whole assembly stood up and started screaming. We wanted to make sure that that choice was available to students in the future. Would it be
So much history.
And tradition. Now let's connect with the alumni.
Hi, I'm Amaya and I'm here with Regina Pingayak, class of 2017. And how's life been since you left Mount Edgecombe?
It's been great. I went to a semester of college down in Portland, Oregon. I wrestled for Warner Pacific. And then I took a break and I decided to pursue my career in welding. So I did welding, a training for 14 weeks with the local 375 plumbers and pipe fitters.
We're glad to have you here. What brings you back on campus?
I came back for the fiddle grind and to participate in the Founder Week events.
So what's your favorite part about Founders Week?
The gathering of cultures. My favorite part about the gathering of cultures is when all the dance groups come together, the Tlingit, Athabasca, Nupik, Nupiaq.
What's your favorite part about performing?
I see it, like my favorite part is because music is an international language. When you perform, you have this connection with the other people because they're listening to the music and they also get to feel of what you're playing.
So what was your favorite memory of Edgecombe?
My favorite memory in Edgecombe is performing with the dance groups because that's the time where we get to share our songs and our stories.
How did Edgecombe help prepare you for your future?
So right now I am applying for the apprenticeship up in Fairbanks with the local 375, and I was able to take the welding training because I took 4 semesters of welding here.
Do you have any advice for us students here?
Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're probably right.
Thanks for that good advice.
Hi, I'm Adana Adams and I'm here with Zoe Merritt Merkuyev, class of 2011. What brings you back to campus?
Hi, Adana. So I was the Founders keynote speaker this year.
How do you think your speech went?
I think it went pretty well. I was one of 2 speakers and I graduated only 8 years ago, so I felt like my speech was really relatable to the students, and I got to talk about college and what I've been doing and advice.
How has life been since Mount Edgecombe?
It's been really busy. So as soon as I graduated from Mount Edgecombe, I went to Stanford University in Palo Alto, California. I graduated from Stanford in 2016. I got my bachelor's in psychology with a focus in health and development and a minor in Native American studies. And then I went to UAF and got my master's of business administration. And I currently work for the Alaska Native Tribal Health Consortium in research and clinical services, where I focus on tobacco prevention research and colon cancer research.
How has Mount Edgecombe prepared you for life after high school?
Well, life at Mount Edgecombe is very structured. You know, you all wake up at the same time. You guys have study hour and a half. You guys have tutorials, details, go to bed at the same time. And I practiced a lot of those principles after I left Mount Edgecombe, and they really set up the foundation for success because you still need to wake up and go to class, go to bed early, set aside time to do your homework, be clean.
What academic experiences helped you figure out your career path?
One class in particular was molecular ecology with Miss Moll and Miss Kitty LaBounty from UAS. They really introduced me to research, and I took it both my junior and senior year, and I really enjoyed it, and it kind of just stuck with me throughout college, and now I work in Alaska Native Health Research.
So what do you miss the most about Mount Edgecombe?
I miss living and seeing my friends every day. I'm still really close with all the people I graduated for the most part, but getting to wake up every morning together, have breakfast, lunch, and dinner together, classes, and I really miss my teachers too because they really created the support system I needed outside of high school.
So what is it like being a mother?
Being a mom is one of the most rewarding and challenging things I've done since I graduated. My daughter's Penelope. She's 2. She's going to be 3 March 6th. And she's like a little ball of fire, running around, getting into everything. Wants to be exactly like mommy. Trying to knit with yarn and bead and trying to put on makeup. But it's been a lot of fun. Maybe one day she'll go to Mount Edgecombe in 12 years.
How do you think she'll like it here?
Well, if she comes down here, I'll probably move to Sitka too. Can't leave her mom ever. But I think she would really enjoy it. She's really goofy and laughs a lot and talks a lot.
Do you want to leave us with any advice?
Make sure to keep going to class after you graduate. Stay in touch with your friends, your teachers, everyone that you met at Mount Edgecombe.
Thank you for coming to visit Mount Edgecombe again. Hope to see you soon.
Wow, what a great way to wrap up Founders Week. Our graduates sure have a lot to teach us.
Now MEHS students have something timely to share with us. Let's check it out.
Hi, I'm Delaney.
I'm Terrence.
And I'm Esther, and we're part of the Sitka Youth Leadership Committee. Silk is dedicated to promoting equity, diversity, and healthy relationships.
February is Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month.
Our goal this month is to promote healthy relationships through our Healthy Me, Healthy We campaign.
We want teens to have the resources to get out of an unhealthy relationship and also the knowledge of what a healthy relationship looks like.
We also want teens to know that both men and women can be the abuser and the victim of teen dating violence.
When you're in a relationship, you have the right to be independent, and you also have the responsibility to let your partner be themselves.
And if your friend is in an unhealthy relationship, please support them morally and always be there for them.
If you are in an unhealthy relationship, then you can always turn to a trusted adult or one of your friends or someone in your support system.
If you don't have a support system, you could call 1-800-799-SAFE.
Great.
And remember,
stay tuned to the cutting edge.